The summary of this maamer is in Simchas Torah, so that asks why we are not learning. That's the only of Torah, and B, why isn't it Shavuos when Torah was given? The good answer is that Simchas Torah is the combination of the whole Avodah of Tishrei, and the whole Avodah of Tishrei is the Nekuda of Achas, of oneness. Yom Kippur, he brought the famous medrash of the daughters of the king who came to visit their father, the king. When was that? They came, Lisho B'Shleim Aviyim HaMelech, to inquire of the welfare of their father, the king. So there are those that live near, there are those that live far. So Bemis, he said, really, what I should do is, you're here now, go back and come back and we'll have our farewell party. That's Shavuos stuck. Shavuos, Atzeret, is the combination of the whole union is 50 days later. And it's a tzaddikim. We meet, and then you take what you have, and you work on yourself, and you come back, and then that's the shleimus. So the leilus, so the tata, and then ichud. That's how it should be in theory. But that's only if you live near. What are those who live far? They can't go and come back. So since you're all here, so make the Atzeres, the culmination, immediately. Atzeres follows immediately after Sukkot, after the Neshamas have come. So the Nekuda is that Pesach, we're going into the summit of Tzaddikim. This is explained elsewhere in Siddur. Pesach is the birth, innocence. Avidus at Tzaddikim, Sfiras Ha'omer, V'chol, and Shavuos, the culmination. Taka didn't last, but at that point, the trajectory was beautiful. But now we're going into winter, Hell and Behest, it's Aveda of Tshuva, we're coming after Elul, coming after Churban, the whole Churban of the Beis Hamikdash, the houses in ruins, the whole Aveda of Tshuva, which Elul comes in Misaken. So this Aveda is the Chait, the Shaita Chod, the Beriga Chod, it's one moment, and it's Bechediyati, all the miles of Tshuva, which the Maimon will speak about, which is the Mile of Yom Kippur, and hence the Shleimus of that is immediately, it's in a moment that's radical, you're here, and now we're going to have our culminating Suda, our union, that's Shmini Atzeret. So that's, and the celebration of that, Shmini Atzeret, Simchas Torah, celebration of the Nekuda of Yom Kippur, which is Achas B'Shon. And Shmini Atzeret is 1 day, not 7 days, again pointing to oneness. He went on to explain, Barichas, if you want to repeat, that all, this mime is a hemshech. This mime is a hemshech, let's say Shabbos, let's say Simchas Torah in this room, after the heart attack, it's a hemshech to the Maimon that Rebbe was saying from Rosh Hashanah, from Erev Rosh Hashanah, on the table here. And that everything is in of Achas. Shofar, it's on your phone. That the mitzvah of Rosh Hashanah is one mitzvah that's Lashon and Mishnah. Mitzvahs hayoim b'shei. Don't say Pesach mitzvahs hayoim b'matzah. Don't say that. There's many mitzvahs you do on Pesach. Moishe said, I say, it's unique that Chazal encapsulated this. And what's it negeya? So it's again halacha, but this statement, mitzvahs hayoim b'shei, that it's one nekud. Tamdechuni aleichem. He said, the Rambam is Merambas on it, because the Rambam says it's a Gzeidah, Tkiya Shofar, and Beitam. That's Tamdechuni. Likewise, Yom Kippur is Achas on all 3 levels of Osha. Olam, Shona, Nefesh, right? We explained that. The Har Sinai Oshan Kuloi. The Torah came down, the Mount Sinai was smoking, and the Kud of Torah is, the Kavan of Mount Torah is that the Kud should permeate creation. Creation is made of 3 components, everything. Olam, Shon, and Nefesh occupies a space, Gashmi, Ruchni, Shon that has a certain level, at a certain time, which is also another coordinate of the Gashmi's Dikya Hagubola, because things change over time, not Dafka in space, it isn't changing, but time means Shinoi, and then there's Nefesh, the level. So there's the space, there's the change, and there's the level. So in the Yom Kippur, all 3 levels, it's Achas, it's Kedesh HaKadoshim, it's Yom Kippur, Nefesh, Kohen Gadol. All of them, there's one essential, likewise Sukkot, with whole harichas about the Esrig and the Ashpod that the Esrig has, and the Dalet Minim, And the summary of it is that the Esek, one of the Pirushim of the Gemara says, what does it mean? Hada, it creates Hada, beautiful. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. How do you define beauty? So the Gemara looks for all kinds of remozim in the word Hada. And one of them is Hada, that it dwells on the tree for a whole year. And the good is, not only does it survive the seasons, it grows from the seasons. So the various contrasting seasons produce the singular Esek. That's the ultimate unity that embraces the division and grows from the division. And therefore, there's a whole diak here that the Esek is mashpia, that kind of ashpa also in the Daled Minim. The Daled Minim also have actus in each the proteins. The leaves have to be together, the lulav, etc. The arobas have to grow in a bunch. The hadassim have to go three on one stem, on one what's it called? One node. But they're still separate. The Esek is one mitzias mamash. So the Esek, that's why it's the first one mentioned. We learned out Hoda from Esek, because this not only beauty, we don't push the beauty, it has to be fresh, but we also learn and other qualities of beauty. We also learn the pnimius that this mila of hadar bi'ilonai, so the Esek is mashpia that even on lower levels of unity, where there are externally defined differences. There's different leaves and they're different. They're all different. Yet they're all brought together. So the Esek is mashpia achtos even on lower levels of division. That's what we're up to. Speaking of Bnei Yisrael, as we all know, that they too are permeated with the achtos, with the achas b'shana yichidish b'nefesh. Ois Dalet, that's what we're up to, yeah? Yeah, we did it. How we did? We did or we didn't? I don't think so. Ois Dalet. In order there should be a true unity, and he adds in brackets an enduring one. Can it be true and not enduring? Yes. Could be. You would think not, something is true, by definition it lasts. But not so. It could be true in the moment, and then there's other things that get in the way. Stop. There's a hell of a Hester. That moment you were sincere. It wasn't like you weren't. You weren't. But then you need to. So the second thing is it should be not just true, but endure. So Baska Yoma shall call a Dalet Sugim Israel. So there should be a true and enduring unity of all Yidden Al Yidei HaTshuva. It's through Tshuva. You wouldn't think that, would you? You think Av? What's going to unite all Jews? Ahavas Yisrael? No. Ahavas Yisrael is critical, and it's a component of it. But what's going to cause the true Achtus Amitis is Tshuva. Can you explain why? No, you said, say, push that going further. If you didn't do Tshuva, so you can't connect to another. Not really. Why? Because you're wrapped up in yourself. Connect to someone else, you have to go beyond yourself. And what's that? That's true. Let's see in the words of the mind. Aside from the fact if you didn't do tshuva, so you just you're living in delusion and arrogance. How could you possibly connect to another? How could you have empathy? How could you connect? Everything is fine by you. You don't know what pain means. So there has to be tshuva. Inyan HaTshuva, let's see in the words of the mind. Inyan HaTshuva, who l'mayde mischalkos, tshuva is beyond the vision. That's what we're looking. We're looking, the Rebbe is creating here and opening the pathways and empowering us and guiding us towards true achdus. So what's tshuva? Tshuva is beyond the vision. And that's why tshuva can be in one moment. It can fix everything. A lot of things, everything, but it fixes everything from a nekuda which is higher in all of his halkos. It connects to something. It's a moment of eibish to gewalt. How could I have done this to you? So that nekuda b'shaita chada b'riga chada is transcends all division, and therefore is able to unite all division. More detail now, because we're explaining now that what the sukkis is behemshach the Yom Kippur. What's in Kippur? Kippur was a luchas shniyas, the second set of luchas, right? That's between luchas rishonis. What's luchas rishonis? That's the original game plan. In theory, that's how it should have ended. In theory, do mitzvahs, be good boys, don't sin, and live happily ever after. In the brackets, Inyan Torah mitzvah atzma. That's Torah itself. Torah itself is a rule book. Follow the rule book. You're in. You don't. You're out. Please don't step out of bounds. That's the first. What's the luchas shniyas?
Admo should have been like that.
Yeah, it repeats itself, the same plan everywhere.
Yeah.
Of course, we know the end of the day is Hashem is secretly saying, please mess up. Don't be so perfect. Because you're going to do tshuva, we're going to get so close. But that's actually a beautiful morsel for this. Like, what do you want? Yes, no. And that beautiful, I think I've shared it with you, is business. A businessman. I'm not a businessman. So that you guys will relate to this to one degree or another. Maybe not a dentist, but a businessman. That is, you make a business, so on one level, the whole point of and you want investors. So what you present here, you present to them an ironclad plan that they're safe in their money, and you've thought of every possibility, and it's not going to go sour. It's not going to go sour because you've thought, and the more, that's a good business plan. The more it's protected and guaranteed from the unforeseen, because you're a clever fellow, and you've done all the studies that pass on it. And that's what you're presenting, and that's what you invest all your effort in to attract investors. However, it's unconscious, perhaps, that really, where's the big money made, and where does the juices really flow? You're not looking for this, but when it happens, it's when it all goes south, and it's unpredictable, and that's where the big money is made. A person's able to turn where everybody else is failing into a profit, and that's the radical and sudden profits. And that's when the real entrepreneur comes to the fore. It's not in the accountants, it's in the brilliance to be able to turn a failing and see something that others don't see into a profit. So likewise, that's the rotzen chitzoni and the rotzen pnimi. The rotzen chitzoni is Torah. Follow the rule, do not stray. You do it, you've ruined everything. But if a yid does, then it's true. Then we exploit this and turn this failing into the greatest profit. And Hashem doesn't say that. Imagine a businessman would say that you're attracting investors. This is the plan, but I hope it's not going to happen like this. And I hope it's going to be unforeseen things, and you walk away with it. No one's going to be. It's not articulated. So this is a rotzen pnimi ve'atzmi. It's not articulated in Torah. The contrary, Torah is full of don't if you do. All kinds of punishments and so on. But be'emes, right there from Adam Barishon, in the first get-go, framed, cast out of Gan Eden, setting in process the whole avodah of tshuva, which is luchas shniyas. So let's continue. So this is between luchas rishonos and luchas shniyas. Inyan Torah al yedei tshuva. So this is Torah now reish. Was sagst du?
It's all set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yossi would be happy. It's all set up. It's still up to us to embrace the setup.
So we can get rid of the guilt. We should get rid of Jewish guilt. It's part of the plan.
It's temporary for a moment, so it's part of the plan. There has to be simcha and avodah and embrace the plan. What does it mean to embrace the plan? To stop choosing, to surrender choice. Finished. I'm a yid. Eibush to this for it. That's the all the setup. That freedom not to choose, the true freedom from choosing. That's the ultimate choice. I've decided there's not a choice anymore. That's the ultimate free choice. Not every time. Yeah, no, let me think. Debate this, whether it's worth it, whether it's not. Like cheshbon. No cheshbon this anymore. Azay nicht anders, as the Rabbi would quote the Chassid. After his Krishma Shalom, yet I forgot what it was. This way, no, that was a different story. Morgen was ein God anders, tomorrow will be different. There's another quote, Azay nicht anders, I forgot who said it. Like this, and that. That's the real choice. So let's see, so look in the brackets. Inyan Torah al yedei tshuva. What tshuva did, it's not negating Torah chas v'shalom. Forget the rules. It's now Torah suffused with tshuva. So let's look at the difference. To receive the first luchos in Moishe Bahar Arboim Yoim. So Moishe was there 40 days. Noisef alachon the shiva shavuos tispalach shoy lifness. In addition to the avodah the 7 weeks between Pesach and Shavuos, it was all the whole process of time for 7 weeks and 40 days. Shenki beluchos hashniyos. It's a thing shaitachot. What's luchos shniyos? Also took time. No, he says Arboim Yoim shoy Moishe Bahar. The 40 days, it was 3 periods of 40 days. The first 40 days was what? The first luchos. Then came the other 40 days. He was working on the Eibishter, not on Yidden. He was working on the Eibishter that he should accept Eden, Besimcha, Ubalev Shalom. Look at these words on the Eibishter. Besimcha, Ubalev Shalom. Rashi. See Rashi says, okay, the Eibishter's heart with a full heart. And then once that took time to convince the good Lord. Then now luchis b'shaitachov. At the moment of giving the luchis is one moment. Eibishter says, okay, that's it. It's absolute. In the Inyan, so this Inyan, tshuva b'shaitachov b'digachod. Tshuva is a radical and it's one moment. Okay, you all know the story my father told every Simchas Torah. The chicken, you know the story. The kids are nimmeret. So there was a competition. All the farmers are bringing their chicken. They raise the whole year, and it's a big prize, and it's a big covet. And so one farmer had a beautiful chicken, but the day of the event, the thing gets completely full of dust and dirt. It's ruined all of his. He's with a comb, he's trying to clean it. He's combing it, they're pushing the dirt from this there to there. It doesn't come off. He's given up. He's given up. The poor chicken is tortured as he's combing it, and trying to take up this. He walks away, and then all of a sudden, the chicken gives itself a shake, a shokel, and all the dust flies off, down, being on 1 second. One moment that, what? This is ridiculous. I'm not chassid. What is it's a second. And all the nonsense just becomes embarrassing and ridiculous. So this is Shaita Chada Vigachada. So Mad Gishin Akshuv Vilamayim Makomidivak. So this brings out that Shuv is beyond all limits, his own limits. As we learned, in the Maimah yesterday, was a verse when the Rebbe was asking. It's a very deep mind. I'm thinking of words to try and explain it. I think maybe I have something. So there will be Shabbos by Medina. Right? Was machst du Shabbos dann being called?
What's happening Shabbos the list?
Continuing by Medina, the mind that will.
Who showed up?
Huh?
Who showed up?
With 20 people.
You guys didn't have rain like before?
Yeah, they did. The second day was the guilt.
I tried, I slept in.
Anyway, in the mind he asks them that how can we affect the change, Lamaila? That the Sukkah's Teishvu these are the words of the mind, that the Oilis themselves are makifin. They're not shaykh to be experienced by anything that is finite, you and I. And yet when the Yid sits in the Sukkah, he prays, not only that he has a connection to it, but a fundamental change in the Oid that now Nasim is a lush of the mind. If you get at the Nasim Bisyashmas, here's a word, what does this mean? Try and explain it better. But there he says a word, hello. He says there a word that all change starts in Seichel. Change, because what's change? Another perspective, consideration. This could be another one. All change fundamentally begins. Seichel, which is, what is Seichel? Seichel is the objective appreciation of whatever is going on. There's different ways to see it, to approach it, and go further. So he's saying that tshuva comes from beyond there. It's not a rational thing. makes a cheshbon, doesn't pay for this, and doesn't pay for his image, for his prestige, doesn't pay for his shalom bayis. There's no cheshbonis. He's a yid and a chosid, and that's it. So therefore, tshuva is reminding the Akbala, tshuva mitis, the words through tshuva magas, the name reaches, the name embraces, takes the pnimius, the atzmos and the etzem and the shol. This is the level of within the yid that's beyond all division. This is the achas within his own neshama. In the words of the Zohar, 1 hour, 1 moment, the nefesh. And that's what we said before. In order there should be true achtos between Eden, there has to be through tshuva yavav. I think about this. I mean, there's other movements in Yiddishkeit that also, achtos, love. So achtos amitis. Achtos amitis, when it's rooted in tshuva, in the self, and then what inspires in another. There we become one. And he said, Bas Kayoma, it's enduringly so. So this is what Shuvah Pearls, Achter Shokol, Asukim, the Yisrael of all categories of Yidden, as the Pasuk says, Sheikhim, Shiftechem, Hetzav, Yitrayat, Atchid, Vitzecha, Veshevim, Mecha, the wood choppers and the water carriers. And it's actually, the Rebbe is threading the whole tissue here, his whole study. You all stand firmly. Nitzavim, Lashon Nitzav Melitzav means the deputy of the king, which means he's empowered by the king. He's representative of the king. That's what the word Nitzav alludes to. Shisrael Nasim Belochim Yidden become the king's deputy. They become kings. Balabatim Alkol Metzias the Olam. They become the balabatim, the masters of the whole metzias of the world. Why? Because the etzem and the sham is revealed. They're one with the Eibush, they're one with each other. And that's why there's a world to begin with, to express that. And the world is waiting for that. And how did they become the balabatim instead of giving us a gebal, the gibrach and maschum is that it starts with that they're written and sealed. Right now, written and sealed for good, for a good year, sweet year, revealed and opened down in our world, even down, including physical matters. That's how it begins the balabatishkeit of the world, the bracha for all the way down to Inyan Gashmi mitzad mikivin shemitzad pchinazu. And since from this level we speak of, what level? The level of the Nitzav Melech, the level of the Achaz Bashana. And Shaykh lachalek bein ruchlis legashmis bein ma'ila lamata. There's no distinction between ruchnis and gashmis and higher and lower. It's the essence. Nothing's closer, nothing's further, and nothing conceals, and nothing reveals. It's all him. Und das Nemduch is called Seder Ishtalshalos. And this revelation of Yechidish ben Nebesh by every Yid, which is brought out through Tshuva, permeates all Seder Ishtalshalos. And not only does a Yid through his Tshuva transform Ishtalshalos, but he unites and connects even higher than Ishtalshalos, Maila Mata, all of existence, all one, all permeated with the one Eibishter. How? Revealed through the one Yid. And how are all Yid and one should? That reveals the level of the neshama of Yid Na'olah. That's Mamshech, his bracha, as he just said now. And Balabatim on the world, the whole world becomes the home. Again, what's a home? Every detail of the home reflects one thing. Those that live there. That's the Achas. So it continues now, Vazel, Inyan, Yom. So that's what the Medrash said. It's good night to hear the Rebbe say this, friends, on the video, on the tape. It was not saying it in the niggin of a mind, it was talking very weak.
This is the first talk after the
Simchas
and the Rabbi is recording this.
Yeah.
Well, this is it. Oh, wow.
This is it. This is not everything he said was a whole fadringa. But this was Zeo Inyan Yoim Echad Bo Kulam Lishol Shloim HaMelech Avihem. This is what the Medrash is saying, that one day, it says that one day is in Kippur. All neshamas come to inquire about the welfare of their father, the king, Avinu Malkeinu. The Eibishter says, you're all here, some of you live far, some of you live close, it's Tzadikim, Bali Tshuva, everybody. Now with Kulon Yachad Yom Tov, let's make for all of them a Yom Tov and Nachti Iman, and I'll rejoice with them. Yom Echad, one day. What's that one day that they came? What's that one day that they all came to inquire of their father, the king, their father, Yom Kippurim? That's the Achaz B'Shana. It's the one level, the one day of the year, and in brackets that he said earlier, Gam Achaz the Olam, on the one place in the world, Kiddush HaKadoshim, the Nefesh, and that's the one, the level of Achaz and Nefesh Yechidah. And therefore the Mishna's response is, and what's drawn as a result of that is, Navid Kulon Chad Yom Tov, let's all make together one Yom Tov, Shekoy al Simchas Torah, Simchas Torah. Shogamkin Yom Echad, that too is one day, again one going on higher than the vision, the Gili of the Yechidish B'Nefesh, Chad Yom Tov, Bechinas Achas. Let's go further, yeah? Yeah? Few more minutes. So it's not enough that this level remain at the level of Yechidah B'Nefesh. No. This is earnest of Yechidah, which is hiding division. So the Nefesh is Chalkos. The whole point is that we don't ignore our consciousness, ignore our seichel and our feelings and our midas and the nitty-gritty details of our life and live on a level where we're just disconnected. That's the Hepech HaKavanah. The whole point is that it should be drawn down into all the levels of division, or in brackets and square brackets, just like we see the halacha. This is Soidus. What's happening here? It's a Chiddush B'Nefesh. But what do we have to do in Sukkos? Gashmi is the good things. I see it with the Yeshiva B'Sukkah. We have to sit in the Sukkah. The Gashmi is the Tilas Dalet Minim. We got to take Dalet Minim. And the Rikud Baraglaim is taking it down. Sitting in the Sukkah is Makifim. The Tilas Dalet Minim is now in the self. And dancing Mamash to the feet. So the Mashachi just took us all the way down. All the way down is going to permeate the lowest levels and the smallest parts of our life. Therefore, this is why after the pasuk says, "All of you stand," that's talking about Shekol Yisraelim Ba'ofen the Kulchem. That's Kulchem. You're all one. That's the level of one. We are all one and equal, the same. Immediately thereafter, the pasuk goes on this. It could have just stopped there. Atem Mitzvayim Kulchem. That's what's Mitzvayim Kulchem. You're all the Yechidish B'Nefesh. Why go on and mention all the 10 levels? They're there. The kavanah is that this Yechidish B'Nefesh should permeate the 10 levels. He then goes on to enumerate the pasuk all of the 10 individual categories from the top to the bottom. Because the kavanah is that you are all one. This is this Eirish Shuvah that begins Rosh Hashanah and so on. Bechinas Achas. These roads are you have to see them. See this in them. See this is Eirish. Gam k'meshehem b'bechinas Yisrael. Even as they are individual, this is something that Rabbi said about Hakel. Hakel said the same thing. Hakel is in the big expression, all Yidden one mamish v'gashmius. The Rabbi said a word, I think it was Memches, he was sturming about Hakel. He said, so much so you look at a Yid and you see he's a Hakel. Same the Kudah. He's driven by, Pnimius and Nefesh, wherever he goes, he's embracing other Jews. He's not just little Jew about his own life. You look at him, you see every other Yid, you see his connection to every other Yid. You see him permeated with this Yechidish V'Nefesh Tshuva. It's one address. And by the way, we'll stop here.